Hello lovely, today I'm going to do a really short tutorial on how to work the linked half double crochet stitch. I've got a little mini series on the playlist and on the channel that talks about linked stitches, in particular the linked double crochet and the extended linked double crochet, which I use for many of my patterns including the Emily top. Today I'm going to show you how to work the linked half double crochet stitch, which as it sounds is a half double crochet, but the difference being that it will have a link in between them so that it's not got gaps, to make it a bit more structured and uniform. The main purpose of using a linked stitch, a linked half double crochet would be if, for example, you're using it for shaping, and say you've got a section of your shaping which is a taller stitch like a double crochet or an extended double crochet, and you want it to graduate downwards. Maybe, for example, I use it for the shoulder in the Emily top, but it could be for bust or it could be for a different shaping reason. But you, when you're using a linked stitch, there's little ridges that appear uniformly in the middle of the row right across, and so that you don't break the visual line of these ridges, this little line that goes across the centre of the stitches, you can use a linked half double crochet, and that would maintain the ridge, but it would reduce the height to half the height of the double crochet. So you'll get the same pattern but you'll have a shrunk stitch. So that's one benefit of it. Of course you can use it for an entire row across, maybe you're just wanting it to be linked for the structure, but you want a shorter height stitch, so that would be fine as well. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I've worked up a tiny little sample just now with linked foundation row, linked double crochet foundation row, and then 2 rows of extended linked double crochets. Again, there's a tutorial that you can check out for the stitches here, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work a whole row of linked half double crochets. So we start, instead of chaining 2, just chain 1, turn your work, and then into the very first stitch, because the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. So into the very first stitch we are going to yarn over, insert a hook, pull up a loop, got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. That's a normal like half double crochet. So for the very first stitch in each of the rows, it will always just be an ordinary version of it, not the linked version, because obviously there's nothing for it really to link to, there's no other stitch to link to. So once you've got your first half double crochet, the next step is, instead of yarning over, which you would do for a normal half double crochet, you're going to insert your hook into, so if I show you, there's on a half double crochet there are 3 sort of diagonal loops, not including the one on the hook. This is the one on the hook. So you've got 1 loop, 2 loops, 3 lines going diagonally across. So what you're wanting to do when you're doing your linked stitch is go into the middle one here, like that, and then you're going to pull through 1 like that, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, and now you just finish it like a normal half double crochet. So pull through all 3 together, and then now we've got 1 linked stitch and 1 normal stitch. So 1 half double crochet, 1 linked half double crochet. So again, we're not yarning over. The only real difference when you're doing it a linked stitch is the first step in the stitch. So 3 diagonal lines for your loops going along the stitch, and you're going to insert into the second one, pull up a loop, just pull through 1 so that you've got 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to insert pull up a loop, that gives you 3, and then pull through all 3, and that's it. And then as you can see the ridge forming there. So I'm going to work across, and you can pay attention. You feel free to rewind or pause or slow it down if you need to. So insert there, like that. Oops. And I have to say that the new hook is feeling really nice in my hand. I hold my hand like a palm grip, a knife hold, but not a tight one, just a nice loose one. And so I also suffer from arthritis with my hands. It's a hereditary thing that I've had since I was really young. So I have to take care of my hands, obviously crocheting so much and doing other crafty things and being quite hands-on with DIY and stuff like that. So I have to watch how what hooks I use and how I hold them. So I find a palm grip's best, and this kind of ergonomic shape, well, with the bulbous sort of part, but a long, I think this is the throat one, the shaft and the throat, whatever one's which. The handle's got to be nice and chunky and tapered, and then this part here has to be long. I got another hook recently that looked the same as the original ones that I tend to use, which is wooden handle and metal hook part, but they were the new ones were skinnier on here and shorter here, and so I just didn't like them at all. So yeah, just as an aside, this one feels really nice in my hands, so thank you to Furls for sending them to me for a try. And this video is not sponsored or anything, and I've not been told what to say, but they sent me them so I could try them out and give my honest feedback. So yeah, I'm liking it. I wasn't sure how I would find the wooden tip because I wasn't sure if it would be as slidey as the metal. It's probably not quite as slidey as the metal end and the metal hook part, but it is quite slidey and it feels nice, so it's a win from me. I used to really like Prim's ergonomic plastic hooks, and I've swore by them for years, and then all of a sudden I got a metal hook, and I made, like, not the cheap metal ones, like I said, the ones with the wooden handle, and I was like, oh, this is night and day, because the plastic hooks squeak and kind of are not as slidey, so yeah. But I did love the Prim ergonomics for years. Now I tend to not reach for them. Yeah, so this is working out nicely. So you can see the sort of pattern there, nice wee ridge developing. So I'll show you again just to make sure we all know what we're doing. So insert into the central bar, pull up a loop and pull through one, so you've got 2 loops on your hook. Insert into the stitch you're next working, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3, and that's it. So the next row I'm going to show you is the shaping row, just to make sure you can see what I'm talking about, because that's a nice effect. Yeah, that looks good. So this row I'm going to work a taller stitch first, so I'm going to chain 2 and turn, and then I'm going to just make a normal double crochet like that, and then the second I'm going to do a linked double crochet. So again, into the central bar, pull up a loop. This is not a tutorial on how to make the linked double crochet, but here's a wee sneaky peek. So I'll just work a few of them. Okay, so I've worked a few of them, and now let's say I'm trying to make some shoulder shaping or some bust shaping or waist shaping or whatever. Maybe you're using it for something completely different. So I want to make this little ridge in the middle consistent, but I want to reduce this height to half its size, so that's what I'm going to do next. So here's my double crochet. I'm going to insert, because I'm making a linked stitch, insert into the central bar, pull up a loop, and it's just worked exactly the same. Insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through all three, and then we'll do that again into the central, middle, second one, pull up a loop, and then there we go. I'll work a few more. Oops, I will not, because that was a wee slip up. Okay. Now, maybe I want to, let's say I wanted it, this was like a neckline and this was the centre of the neckline, so it's dipped down and now I want it to dip back up again. So to raise it back up again, I'm going to insert into the second bar again, into the middle one, pull through one, pull, so that I've got 2 loops on my hook, and then into the next one, insert, pull up a loop, then pull through 2, and then pull through 2, and there I'm back up to my big height again. And you just work it again, making sure that you don't yarn over at the start, just making sure that you insert into the central bar, and that's really the only difference. Now I also use the extended linked double crochets in my pattern, so I'll show you just again so that you can see the progression of the heights. So that with that it would just be a chain 1 first and then a double crochet. This again is not a tutorial on how to work those stitches, it's just so you can see the shaping possibility. Okay, so if I put it down, you can clearly see the shaping has produced here, but the stitches are nice and tight. They're not very holy, they're not very noticeable. The only main difference is the height of them, but the central ridge is present throughout all of them. If you are using a half double crochet, the same hook size should be fine, but with linked stitches I always recommend that you size up with your hooks, because it does pull the stitches in a bit tighter, and if you want some drape then you want to make sure that the fabric can move, so it needs a slightly bigger hook. However, if you are doing shaping and you have reduced to smaller stitches, you could, like a half double crochet, then you could drop down your hook size if it's looking a little bit gapey or holy. That would just be something to test out yourself on the row. Okay, hopefully that helps. Hopefully you've learned something, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye, lovely.